Welcome to Scripts and Giggles with Shoshanna. No, you need to speak up.
It's your boy.
Boy who?
Marnie Michael.
I'm finished. I'm so finished.
I did a b-boy stance. If you can't see, but I'm doing a b-boy.
You are so ridiculous. It's so probably good that the viewers aren't and the listeners aren't seeing or hearing this.
I look like LL Cool J.
I know who LL Cool J. Don't do this. I know who LL Cool J is.
It's actually quite hard to say, isn't it? LL Cool J.
LL Cool J. But
Cool J.
I don't think you are looking.
If you're American, how would you say it? LL? No, it's still.
I'm double L Cool J.
I hate that name actually.
I'm
Let's call him LL.
I'm LL. Yeah, I think that's what he's known as now. Because you're not gonna call him Cool J. Because that just sounds.
It's me, Cool J.
And so I was like, you know what? It's not really giving it. Let's add a bit of flavour to it. Double L.
I think I might be going by. I'll go by Cool M.
Actually, isn't it
Cool J? No.
Isn't LL stands for like lovers love Cool J?
Really?
I know. I
think it is something.
It's
no,
something
right.
about love. It's something.
I thought you were gonna say Lucius Lyons Cool J.
Yeah, it's something
from Empire.
It's something.
Love wins.
No, LL Cool J, the name.
The ladies love.
Ladies love Cool J. Yeah. So stupid.
Oh, I hate that.
I know. I feel LL Cool J now sounds better. I still can't say it.
So we should call him Cool J then, because it's the ladies love Cool J. He must be Cool J.
No,
what's his actual name?
His real name is James Todd Smith.
We'll be referring to LL by Cool J going forward, because his name's Cool J.
Yeah. I don't know how we got there, but yeah.
Because I said I'm a b-boy.
I don't even get that.
Do you even know what b-boy is?
Like rappers, right?
No, they're street, like the dancers.
Oh, the street dancers that you see on the street. God. It's been a long day.
Street dancers that you see on the street, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay, those boys.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were even doing a b-boy
Yeah, I was going like this. Again,
for our listeners, she's just wrapping her arms around and looking really tough. I'm not doing the audio description because you're not saying a single thing. I love that you keep on doing it as if every time you do it, it's going to change how I feel about it.
Has it changed how you feel about it?
No, the ladies are not loving Cool J.
I have your name. My name is Cool Marn. Cool Marn.
I'm done.
Cool M doesn't work because the sound of M has to be Cool Marn.
I think you should just call it double L.
I'm not calling myself LL. I could call myself MM. Marnie Michaels.
That just sounds like M&M's.
That's so true.
It's the worst if I had M&M's.
Oh, I thought you meant the rapper Eminem.
No, I meant M&M's chocolates.
What do you think Shoshanna's rap name would be?
Shh.
I hate that. I hate that.
And the album cover would be me with my fingers on my lips going shh for Shoshanna. And the album be called Shoshanna.
Not shoe. Why is it Shoshanna?
I mean, it's like shh. No, it's
Shoshanna.
S with like triple H. Anna.
Shana.
Shoshana, yeah.
Shana.
Oh no, it'd be SHHO Shana. And that's the song will go. And the TikTok sound will be like Shonana. Shana.
That sounds like Joanna. Shoanna. Why is it Joanna?
You know what? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Shana.
But that being said, whatever it will be, it'll be cool. I know that.
Should we get to pop culture news?
Let's just do that because I don't know what we've been talking about.
We talk about the cool boys.
The cool boys and the cool girls.
The cool
and the ladies love.
The lame shows.
Lady Shosh. That's a really good name.
I said lame shows. You said lame. Well, yours seems nicer then.
That's the name of the album, Lady Shosh. And I'd be like rejuvenating Lady Dynamite. So maybe I'll do a remix of I'm Miss Dynamite.
You think Lady Dynamite needs to be rejuvenated?
Rejuvenate is the wrong word.
Yeah.
Reinvented, right, okay. Yeah. Bringing her into the Gen Z era.
You think of yourself as the second coming?
Pretty much, yeah.
Of Lady Dynamite?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know Lady Dynamite, no offense, she's still here. and she's still kicking. But I just want to provide a angle to it.
So you're the version of Lady Dynamite that doesn't speak on her famously.
And that's what makes me so Gen Z. Like, you just don't have to speak. You can just look.
How do you make a song?
The music speaks for itself.
Okay, let's move on, because I feel like you just took it out of your ass. This is ass talk, which is a different podcast.
Absolutely different podcast.
Tune into ass talk somewhere else. It's not here.
Oh god. Well, while you're listening, listen, like, subscribe, follow, all these fun things. Let's get into pop culture.
Unsubscribe.
Don't unsubscribe. Don't unsubscribe. Okay. We love doing these for you.
Unsubscribe from your other podcast.
Oh, 100%. And subscribe to this one. Because you like scripts, you like giggles.
And you want to hear about pop culture news.
100%.
So let's get to it. What we just stop singing it? What we just don't do it today? What we just
no sound. Okay, let's just get the music on. Okay, so we thought we were gonna do the music track, but we decided against it. We actually just added.
It's the renaissance of scripts and giggles. We're going back to the start.
Yeah.
Silence,
and then we'll just get into it.
Let the tune play, and then we'll just cut straight to. Oh,
what?
Did you watch the Love Island final?
I did. Yeah. Should we talk about that?
I didn't watch it.
Oh, I did. I mean, it's so obvious who won.
Well, it's who I thought was going to win.
Kai and Sanam. I'll be honest, it was the last couple of days dragged.
I think I've noticed something interesting about Love Island. Last year, in the midst of the Brexit stuff, we think we hate Europe, it's done.
Yeah.
And who wins Love Island? An Italian and a Turkish woman. England is healing.
Yeah.
This year, we're in it with the cost of living crisis. People can't pay their heat. People can't pay their mortgage. Yeah. Civil servants are being paid nothing. Yeah. And who wins Love Island? A social worker and a teacher.
But yeah, no, I'm really happy with the wins. And you're right, Britain is healing to have these real civil servants. And they did talk about it. I mean, I'm calling them like public servants. Yeah. They did talk about like their careers, and that was one thing that really distinguished them from all the other couples, because all the other couples were wasting their time in terms of like who was playing a game, like who they thought was the most compatible, who wasn't. And Kai and Sanam, they just concentrated on living their lives. Yeah, living their lives. I mean, in the beautiful backdrop of South Africa. And they were talking about their futures. They talked about like what connected them. Like, oh, when you talked about, you being a teacher, or when you talked about being a social worker and working with kids and working with young people and the struggle that you face, I really connected with it. And I was like, these are adult conversations that you have in real life, in real dates. And it just felt more real versus everyone else was just so superficial. So, perfectly honest, like, I don't give the other couples that long. I mean, by the time we get to Love Island in summer, majority of the couples in the finale would have broken up. Kai and Sanam, I think that they're here for the long haul. If I like Love Island.
Congrats to Kai and Sanam.
Yeah. It was a boring season.
Yeah, no, it's going in the bin.
Yeah,
and we are glad to see it.
Yeah. But that being said, the last Love Island winter, the couple that won are still together. So, again...
Yeah, because it was so boring.
Yeah, but maybe this is the season where you actually love Island. When you get to summer, it gets to Lost Island.
And that's what we want.
I know, it's true.
We want Lost Island.
I'm still surprised that some of these couples are still together. Like,
I'm surprised that Will didn't make it to the final.
Well, no, I'm surprised to see. But I think he's going to have a big career. And even though this season was small, I think he's a personality that could become like the Ryland.
Yeah, I think what Will did on the season... I mean, I always say this. It's very weird the way that they cast it. They'll always get someone who's at like a sort of personality type that doesn't seem like it will fit in with the sort of vapid, beautiful people. But they end up being like the heart and soul of the villa. Yeah. And so, I'm sure he'll have a long and illustrious... He'll be hosting Country File in no time. But I was surprised that they didn't make it to the final just because it felt like the public really liked them as well. Same. But I feel like maybe that was a Jessie issue because something behind, like there's nothing behind her eyes. No. So it could just be because she's Australian.
I've never been to Australia, and I just kind of want to like step one foot in and be like,
Australia's one of those places where I'm like, I'm happy that Australia exists. I like to read about it, I like to hear about it. I have no intention of going there.
I think that if I was going to like Bali, like and New Zealand, because I would like to see New Zealand.
I'd love to go to New
So
Zealand.
if
I have
I'm
no
in,
interest in Australia.
yeah, but if I'm in that area of the world, I have no excuse but to visit Australia, because you're right. Given that it's a 24-hour flight from the UK, I'm gonna have to go and visit and spend a significant time in that area of the world. So I might as well one day, see the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Do you want to go to Opera House?
That too.
Are you gonna learn to surf?
If it was a hot Australian guy who's gonna teach me.
What if it's a fairly normal-looking Australian guy?
So any guy I could see in the UK, that'd be quite disappointing.
No, he's definitely more tanned than any guy you could see in the UK because it's actually sunny there.
I mean, it'd be a nice lesson. Surfing lesson, but I'm not going to be blown away.
Wow.
And I better not be blown away by the wind or the waves.
Wow. High standards from Shoshanna there.
I think we should all be living by high standards.
Why are we talking about Australia again?
Because...
Oh, Jessie, I said that.
Jessie, yeah, you can't, yeah.
I like your diplomatic answer, which is, maybe it's just Jessie. Do you know what else happened this week?
Go on.
The Oscars.
Woo-hoo!
The Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Do you not find it confusing that things are called so many different names?
Yeah, I feel like it's only really the Oscars. What's the other awards that have that kind of different names?
The Globes and the Emmys, are they not the same thing?
No, different.
So
They're
Golden Globes are separate to the
Yeah,
Emmys, which are separate to
yeah.
the Academy Awards,
Yeah.
which are the same as the Oscars.
Yeah. So the awards that I feel is only the Oscars that have the different.
What about the
distinction.
Film Critic Awards?
Again, that's different.
What about the Independent Spirit Awards?
Also different.
What about Rotten Tomatoes?
That's definitely different.
What about the
Razzle? And it's even
Razzies?
different from the Razzies, I think.
Yeah,
They're different
Razzies.
from that. To me, the only one where you have the distinction or lack of distinction between the two awards is the Oscars.
What about the British Soap Awards?
Why is this in the conversation? No offense to our soap,
It's a very important award show.
It is.
Because we need to know who's going to win this year. Is it EastEnders, Coronation Street,
Fam,
Emmerdale?
it's a 4-horse race each year.
It's not, it's actually a 6-horse race.
What's a
Emmerdale, Coronation Street, EastEnders, Hollyoaks.
Yeah, that's it. Go on, what's the two?
Ackley Bridge.
That is not part of the conversation. That is not a soap.
Oh, Casualty.
Isn't that being cancelled?
Holby City.
That one of them is being cancelled.
Yeah, I can't remember which one.
Yeah, they shouldn't be part of the race. That is proof that they should not be a part of the race. Hence, a 4-horse race.
Somebody quit their job to go be in one of them. The one that then immediately cancelled, which is absolutely messed up.
Wow.
So dark.
That being said, if this show has been long running for the past 15, 20 years, and then you have offered the job, you're like, you know what? This is actual security. This show's gonna be running for the rest of his life.
But they left one soap to go work on. They literally left their job security because they thought this would be a better job security, and it in fact was not job security at all.
That was not a great idea.
But that's not what the Academy Awards are about.
No.
Celebrating.
No.
They're about celebrating film talent.
Yeah.
Hot, sweaty film talent.
I think it's at the pinnacle of the award season. Everything is building up to the Oscars.
Which is stupid because it's just, they're all, to me. I mean, I think the Oscars you're right, are the pinnacle, and they also have, they feel like they carry more weight than most. Yeah. But they're just, to me, they just feel like stupid decisions are made at the Oscars all the time. Same as at the BAFTAs.
True.
But although I feel like the Oscars this year did not disappoint me as much as the BAFTAs did.
Oh, I can't even remember the BAFTAs, and that's probably true. I mean,
Nobody of colour won. Nobody of colour won.
Sorry, that's the reason why it was forgettable. But also, let us not forget.
Oscar's so white.
Oscar's so white, but BAFTA's so white, but also Angela Bassett did the thing.
Yeah, sorry, that was the only reason.
That was the only reason.
But then, you're saying that Rihanna singing "Lift Me Up" was not as good as Angela Bassett did the thing.
Oh God!
You saying that?
It's
Lady Gaga singing the song that she did for Top Gun Maverick was not as good.
I didn't listen to the full Lady Gaga because when I clicked onto the performance, she was talking a lot, so I just kind of swiped up.
Ooh.
But what I'm gonna say, that's no offense to her, because she was in a bit of an intro, and that intro should have been done by the host beforehand. But I will say that I find it very hard to take Rihanna seriously when she does ballads.
after the other week, he was like,
No.
spend money to go see.
No,
I love Rihanna. I love Rihanna. And was like, Beyonce. I think Beyonce's garbage, and Rihanna is the only pop girlie out there left.
No, I'm saying is that I want to see Rihanna do the hits that we know and love, like the dance hits, like the We Found Love, the Oh Nana, What's My Name. Like, that's the kind of songs I want to hear. When she's doing like Unfaithful,
and you know,
and then this Lift Me Up is a song that I would have really loved to have heard Thames sing. That's what because the song was written by Thames and also is written in her style.
I feel like you are coming for Rihanna in a major way.
No,
I
I
wasn't
love
expecting
Rihanna.
that to be your review of Rihanna.
No, I really do love
a pregnant
Rihanna.
woman has come out of her house
Don't
to
do
give you
this.
guys a gift, and your attitude is, I wish it was Thames. Wow. Wow.
I 100% love Rihanna, and I'm excited to see her live
What happened
one
to
day.
support black businesses?
I'm always supporting black. Have I not just said I want to support this black business with another black business? I'm keeping it in the
support black
family.
businesses?
All I'm just saying is just like, it's not like I didn't like the performance. I'm just saying that I would prefer to see Tab sing the song that she wrote in
Can
her
I tell you
style.
something really important?
Go on.
I am not interested in performances at award shows.
No.
Why are we singing songs?
Apart from
I'm here
Grammys,
for...
apart from the Grammys, that's the only one where I really care. Because
Yeah, because that's for musicians.
Yeah.
I don't want to, at my movie award, hear songs. I'm going to be honest. Unless the songs are absolute classic movie soundtrack banger. I want to hear Lion King soundtrack throughout the thing. Don't choke. This is important. Every year, they should pick a soundtrack and just play that soundtrack throughout.
I agree.
And it shouldn't even be a soundtrack that's nominated for anything.
I agree.
Oh my god. Shoshanna is running out of the house. She is knocking on her neighbours' doors to ask them whether they agree. They are all saying that no, they don't agree with her, they agree with me. No more singing at award shows.
I am not saying that I have a problem with performances at award shows. I'm just saying that if it's related to the show,
Well, we
or the
technically it is
film,
because they're nominated.
then I think it should be included. And also, I've been to an award show, and it's nice to have some music to break it up because it can get a real
What
dry.
award show did you go to?
I went to PCAs quite a few years ago.
And what did you wear? Who are you wearing?
I was wearing Chi London, supporting a UK business. I felt like I looked great. And I was going with talent, and I was told that I look better than the talent.
Wow.
And something that we know and love, and I can't talk too much on it, but yeah.
So everybody get to Chi London if you want to look better than talent at an awards night. So did you have any big... Was there anything that surprised you at the Oscars?
Oh, and just the award show. In terms of wins, I'm not surprised actually, because I knew when I watched... So we talked about this probably at the beginning of the podcast. I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once twice, and I fell asleep twice in the cinema. But each time I left the cinema, I said, this is going to be a big Oscar contender, and it's going to probably win Oscars because it's so
what does that
different.
say about what you think the Oscars is about? If you are saying that a film that you slept through twice is going to be a big Oscar contender.
No, I think I fell asleep because I think I was overstimulated by the film. Like, it was just so much going on. And each time, the cinema was hot, and I was tired. Like, I was going... After work, I went in and watched it, and I feel like with a lot of my entertainment, it needs to be very low stimulation, low vibration type of, like, shows.
Yeah, low vibration, not good.
Not good. I'm just... Look, there's some really great shows that are low vibration, and do not ask me of an example. I don't have one to
Because I don't know any.
I knew just from the way the film was created and from what I watched and I was awake for, that it was definitely the most unique film that I've watched in the cinema or in a long, long time. So I knew it was going to be up for Oscars. So I was very glad to see that it won Best Picture, that Michelle Yeoh won, that the other Jamie Lee Curtis won, and also the male lead as well, and I've forgotten his name, also won, who is from like Indiana Jones from way back when.
Harrison Ford gave him an award.
Oh, that is really nice.
The only thing that was interesting...
That is so sweet, yeah.
One of the interesting things about this award, and I don't know why award shows don't all do this, is that they had presenters who'd won the award before.
Yeah.
So for Michelle Yeoh, It was Halle Berry who was the first woman of colour to win Academy Award for Best Actress.
And she presents it.
Yeah, and
That's
Jessica
amazing.
Chastain, who won last year for a film I don't think I've ever heard of.
No.
I love Jessica Chastain, though. I think she's
What does she
absolutely
do?
stunning.
I feel like she's more of a TV... She's not done TV a lot. Or I feel like she could do a Kerry Washington and, like, transcend from film to TV.
She absolutely could.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, you know what? If I saw Halle Berry come out, I'll know I'm winning. Like, yeah. Why would you bring...
Why have you brought Halle Berry
Halle
here?
Berry, who has not been in any Oscar-contending film this year, but the first black
Who was
actress
Jessica Chastain?
That's true.
But she won last year.
Did Ariana DeBose come?
She came to the award show.
But
I don't know if she presented.
Oh, they should not. Because I think everyone was hoping that she would present, and then when Angela Bassett won,
she'd be able to say, Angela Bassett truly has done the thing.
Come on down and pick up your award. Unfortunately, that didn't happen because Jamie Lee Curtis won. And I think one thing that got picked up a lot on the TikToks and the socials was Angela Bassett's reaction when Jamie Lee Curtis was announced.
I think people made a bit more of it than it actually is
I
to
agree.
me. And people were like, she looks so pissed, and I respect that. And I was like, all she did was not smile.
Yeah. Because she was disappointed, because I'll be honest.
You don't have to smile.
Yeah. Throughout the whole of the awards season, Angela Bassett has been winning the Best Supporting Actress, or most of them.
You didn't win at the BAFTAs.
But did she win SAGs?
I don't know. I wasn't at SAGs. Were you at SAGs?
No, I'm just like, there's a couple that are like big indicators that you are most likely going to win the Oscar.
I think we have to be the people to have this conversation, because I
Yeah.
think a lot of people are too scared to have this conversation.
We had the conversation already.
We have had this conversation already. The film wasn't good.
Yeah.
Her performance in the film was good.
Yeah.
But I think because the film wasn't good, they didn't give it to her.
No, I know. We predicted, and I think we were correct, that Angela Bassett wasn't going to do the thing at the Oscars and win, and Black Panther wasn't going to be an Oscar contender. I was surprised it was even nominated, but I think I did say it was get costume, and I think it did win.
Well, congratulations. That costume designer,
You've
been praying for them because they've been sweeping because of you.
No, they have. I mean, I'm sorry. Because I remember watching the film going, the storyline is loose, and the way that this whole film has been put together is a bit,
haphazard.
That's the best way to describe it.
Bit haphazard.
And so, like, the only thing that's really come through in this film is the set design and the costume. So those are the areas that I think is worth praising, because it was done incredibly well.
I get the thing about everyone being sad for Angela Bassett. Of course we're sad for Angela Bassett. She's a brilliant actress and we want her to be recognised for her talent. I personally just don't think that this was the thing. The other thing is that loads of people think Jamie Lee Curtis shouldn't have been nominated because this one wasn't the best performance that Jamie Lee Curtis has ever given. I actually think Jamie Lee Curtis's performance in Everywhere All at Once is actually quite good. Yeah. I think the thing that for me that made her not that out and out winner was that Stephanie Hsu was nominated in the same category as her. And if you watch that film and you come out of it and you think, do you know who did a really good job? Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah. Then you clearly, the film wasn't for you. Yeah. Stephanie Hsu should have won. Yeah. I'm sorry, what she did, far and away, including dear sweet Angela Bassett, Stephanie Hsu gave us an absolute roller coaster of emotions. Yeah. And she was just brilliant in that film. Yeah. She blew me away. I was like, who is this? Yeah. She's come out of nowhere and she's just this, rocket in that film. And I think if she wasn't in it, it wouldn't have worked for me, if I'm being completely honest. And so for her to not be recognised at all at the Oscars, and for them to give it to Jamie Lee Curtis, I was like, that was the mistake, not the Angela Bassett thing. Yeah. And I get it. Maybe loads of people watch Black Panther. And maybe there wasn't enough crossover with people who watch Black Panther and people who watch everything everywhere all at once to really judge who deserved it. But I just felt like the way that everyone on the internet was like, here we go again, taking an opportunity away from a black woman. I was like, this is not going to be the thing.
This is not the fight. This is not the fight for this year.
But I feel like you're not going to sit here and tell me this was Angela Bassett's best performance. No. Or that this is the best that she can do.
Oh, 100% no.
She's going to surpass that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be like, she'll get her flowers, because the Academy doesn't really care about giving people their flowers so much as it does about whatever game is being played. But I don't think she was robbed.
No, I agree. I think the Jamie Lee Curtis aspect rubs me the wrong way. I think it goes back to the further conversation around that woman that was trying to like campaign for her title, and I can't remember her
Angela
name.
Riseborough.
Yeah, and I think there was some conversations around like a Jamie Lee Curtis, and you know the other wider conversations with things like Woman King not being included in awards contention, which again. I loved Woman King. I really did. And I probably, uncontroversial opinion, I preferred Woman King to Black Panther.
I was going to say that.
But I just feel like with Jamie Lee Curtis winning, it feels like the campaign around Jamie's team was a lot bigger and louder. And it was a campaign thing versus probably the winner that should have been, which was Stephanie. But
I listened to a podcast, I think this could be very shocking as a podcaster listening to other podcasts. But I listened to a culture podcast where they were talking about this thing, and they were saying, like, the Academy gives out sort of lifetime awards to people sometimes, where it's like, you've consistently been doing a good job and we've never given you an award, so we've decided that today's the day we're going to give it to you. And that feels like that's what happened with Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, they've said, you've been nominated 8 times and you've never won. We're going to give it to you today, regardless of whether you are the best. And another example they gave was like Laura Dern winning Best Supporting Actress for Marriage Story.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
When you think about Marriage Story, who's thinking about Laura Dern?
No, I was thinking about Scarlett Johansson.
I think about Adam Driver punching a wall.
Oh yeah, true, him as well.
Because it's a meme.
Yeah, true. Also, with that exact same example, you could also say Leonardo DiCaprio, one of the biggest examples of how he has been nominated so many times, and he won for The Revenant, yeah.
Where he was literally like the only person in the film.
Yeah. There's no one else you could give the award to.
It was that, or they were going to give it to the bear that he cuts up his feet inside, because they really hate Leo DiCaprio so much. They're like, we're not giving it to him. The bear is going to get
the bear, and then you bring out the guy from the bear.
The winner is the corpse of the bear.
Oh god!
Not even the living bear, the dead bear.
Talking about animals, Brendan Fraser won for the whale.
Excuse me.
I'm talking about the animal of the whale, not Brendan Fraser.
That was a crazy transition. That was mad what you just did. Talking about animals, Brendan Fraser
won for the whale, not the bear. Talking of the bear, Brendan Fraser won for the whale.
Lovely Brendan Fraser.
It was lovely. I mean, I know there has been some issues, and he has issues with the Academy that he's had in the past.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Really, I think Brendan Fraser is the reason why I am a straight woman. Brendan Fraser in The Mummy and Brendan Fraser as George of the Jungle.
I don't know. Brendan Fraser doesn't do it for me. We're gonna have this debate because
he's
there's
very
another guy that
90s heartthrob.
And I just
Fraser.
I don't see it.
He's very hot in The Mummy.
You know what? I've never seen The Mummy, and I think the first thing.
Right, so go watch The Mummy.
Yeah.
And see if you make it through for half an hour without having to take a glass of water.
No, I think I'm okay.
Because you're parched.
I'm not that
parched.
I'm not thirsty. I'm good.
Also, Rachel Weisz in that video. Rachel Weisz in that film. Stunning.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Like, I'm well hydrated, but I'm just saying that.
You haven't seen it yet?
I don't need to. I feel like I was introduced to Brendan Fraser in a cameo on Scrubs, and that didn't do it for me.
No, you're not. I'm talking about Brendan Fraser in the 90s. You're talking about Brendan Fraser
in the 2000s, yeah.
As a grown-up man. I'm talking about heartthrob Brendan Fraser.
I know, I've seen pictures of him in The Mummy. I have.
To see pictures.
This is what people say, like, oh, you need to
see,
see like Brad Pitt and Troy. I'm like,
first of all, Brad Pitt and Troy.
Yeah, but I've seen Brad Pitt in recent, and I think he looks better when older. I think he's aged well. Ill. I'm not.
Let's move on.
I'm well.
You're actually
in Jesus'
sick.
Name.
You're actually a sick person.
I'm well in Jesus' name.
But I should have expected this from you because you think Trevor Noah is hot.
Trevor Noah is hot. I'm so sorry.
That man is not hot.
He is.
That man is not hot.
He is.
That man is not hot.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be sorry.
I'm not sorry. No,
you should be
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
You should be
I'm
sorry.
just saying, like, Trevor Noah will love me into bed.
Yeah, but that's not the same as being hot,
I'm
Mum.
saying he's hot. He is hot. He is.
That's not what
He's
you
got
said.
He's got great face,
That's
great
not what
structure,
you said.
great body, great height.
You are absolutely
great.
You are
No,
forcing
I'm
it.
not forcing a single
You're
face.
forcing it.
I'm sorry. It's not just about the face. It's about the personality, and he's got the personality.
it
Man.
is
He's
about
very
the
smart
face.
as well.
It is
no,
about the
it's
face.
not. Because I don't want to see a dumb Brendan Fraser.
Yes, you
look at
do
me.
want to
No,
see
I
a
don't.
dumb hot person.
I don't want to see a dumb hot person.
What do you mean?
No.
I feel like
I'm sorry.
I hate to say
also,
this
I fell
on
into
the
the
pod,
Pedro. I fell into the Pedro
but
Pascal
I
TikTok.
think you hate men.
I don't. I love. Let me rephrase that. I love the right to men, and I don't have a problem with men. I'm just saying
You love far right men.
I said
wow,
they're
wow.
right.
You're a fascist.
I said I love the right men. You crap, that sounds really bad. I like the age-appropriate, mature, wise,
Why do you
sensible
say
men.
age appropriate? What does that even mean?
I'm just trying to say that I like men, but I don't like all men. I like some men. Okay?
You are spiraling.
I'm actually done. You have literally tried to drag me. Don't do this.
You are spiraling, honey.
All I'm gonna say is this: Brendan Fraser. I'm very happy for him for winning the award for the whale.
For the animal, Brendan Fraser. You're very happy for him.
How dare you drag me about Trevor Noah? Trevor Noah is up there. We said we're gonna
You
do
are out of your
we
mind.
We are actually gonna do a Data Scribble episode where we bring in our top 7
Listen, I'm not saying that
celebrity men.
he's
that
not an attractive man. He's not hot.
He is.
Right, if we're just gonna lie on the podcast,
I'm not
let's
gonna
move
lie.
on. If we're just lying
what
on
we
the
need to
podcast
do?
now, let's move
like
on.
what we did the last time. We need to actually define what we count as hot, and then once we've got that definition, then we can then argue, this debate,
The definition is
Talk-
very simple.
talk sensibly about this.
And I'm talking sensible.
Yeah, I am.
You're not.
A hot guy is someone.
We don't have time for this.
You know what? All I'm gonna say is
We simply don't have
Trevor
time for
Noah is
this.
hot. Pedro Pascal is hot. Done. And I'm sure Brendan Fraser was hot.
Can I just say, we're done with this, but
We're
can you
not
imagine
done.
living in a universe run by Shoshanna's Taste of Men?
I think we'll be good.
Or we'll be starving.
I think we'll be good.
We'll be starving
I
for
think
beauty.
we would
I'm
have
starving for beauty.
we would have 75% less TikToks going. You know what my hinge
In your
day
world,
disaster.
there's no Michael B. Jordans.
No, Michael B.
There's
Jordan.
no Aldous Hodges. There's just no
Who's
hot. There's
that?
no hot guys at all. Every guy is 4'2"
Are you mad?
and funny.
What do you mean?
That's your world.
Do you know how tall Pedro?
How tall is Pedro? Yeah, how tall is Pedro Pascal?
Pedro Pascal is like 5'10".
4'10".
5'10".
4'10".
5'10". You're an idiot. And Trevor Noah is like 6
4'6".
foot. Over 6 foot.
4'6".
I'm done. All I'm gonna say is, we will have that episode where we debate and discuss who the hot guys really are. And in my world,
We need an unbiased judicator. It can't be the two of us. That's why. I feel like that's what we're missing. We need someone who's
we
going to
don't
come in
need
and
an
weigh.
unbiased.
Yes,
We don't.
Yes, we do.
You know what? The unbiased adjudicator is you, the viewers. We can put a poll up. You can vote.
I don't trust these guys.
I do.
They listen to our podcast. They've got terrible taste. We need people with good taste. What are you talking about?
And you're sorry to our listeners. Are you actually mad?
I'm not insulting anyone who's a listener of the pod.
And anyone who's not,
I
a fan of
apologise.
No,
I
I think
apologise.
everyone and apologise to Trevor Noah. How dare you say he's not hot?
He's not hot.
Let us not lie. Trevor Noah comes right here and starts chatting to you. You're gonna be like, nah, he's not hot.
I'll be like, you're not my type, but my friend really likes you.
Yeah, because we know what your type is. Listen to last week's episode.
What's my type from last week's episode?
White men.
You're out of your mind, that's you, bro. Now what's happening? Gosh, you are forcing
I
it.
honestly can't wait for that episode because maybe we should celebrate our 30th.
Yeah, he's not my type, and that's all right.
And have it, okay. I mean, we're going to talk about a guy that you think is your type, and we can have this very similar discussion because I do not feel like
Oh yeah, we're going
the
to
guy
my
that
type.
you hint on that you think is hot is really it. And in this season, he really isn't.
No, well, we're not talking about the character because I'm not talking about the character.
Yeah, okay, but either way.
So get it right. Yeah.
But the other thing I wanted to flag about the Oscars was the fashions.
Yeah.
So I know it was kind of I think it was quite nice.
I thought it was boring.
Yeah, there wasn't any big standouts. However, I loved Cara Delevingne's dress. It was a red standout number. I
really liked it. I was quite surprised by it on Cara, to be honest.
I think she's coming for a reinvention. She's had quite a lot of bad press over the last couple of months. So this is probably her moment to kind of come back into the spotlight of being a bit more polished and renewed.
Yeah, maybe a reinvention. Did you see, there was a point, I saw a video though of her walking on the red carpet and she could not walk in those shoes.
Yeah. I haven't seen, no,
She's a model.
Maybe the heels are a bit chunky. Or maybe
she's a model.
Maybe something else was going on. Are there external
I've been watching Next Day Fashion.
factors.
And Gigi Hadid will make a point of saying, like, Tam was like, oh, how are you going to walk in those shoes? And she was like, about a different person, not even her. She was like, it's our jobs to be able to walk in those shoes.
That's true.
And I said, oh.
That's true.
She got you together, Tam.
Yeah.
She said, stop asking the models stupid questions. This is what they get paid to do. Okay, the same way you get paid to look like an idiot on TV. No, I'm joking. She didn't say that. I love Tan. I actually do love Tan. But, she looked good.
Yeah.
It was a
She
nice...
looked great.
It was a nice dress, but also, yeah, it was a little bit boring.
Yeah, but I think also the venue didn't give me the glamour. It was nice. It was a different change of having like a white carpet and a white background, but I think because it was quite vanilla, and I feel like I'm just really going into different type of colours, but because it was quite vanilla, anything would pop out and be like, oh, that's different. And so that hence Kara's red dress felt like, oh, this is a bit of a moment, but we didn't really have a lot of those like big grand
What do you think
moments.
of Gaga?
Of who?
Lady Gaga.
Oh, Lady, that was a really nice dress.
I
That was
liked
another,
it.
yeah.
I feel like she's probably she was my best
That's
dress.
your dress.
Yeah.
Because people were suspecting that Zendaya would wear that dress, but Zendaya didn't go to the Oscars.
Oh.
I think it was a very fashionable dress. It was a dress I would
How
see.
come people been making guesses of what dresses people were going to wear?
Because that dress had just come out on the runway like a week before.
But
And
what's that got? How did they make the leap to Zendaya?
she is just very on the nose with like up and coming fashion and really just bringing it to life from the runway or from the catwalk to the red carpet very quickly. So that's why, people assumed that would be a dress that Zendaya could wear, and I think you could easily imagine her wearing it. I think Lady Gaga, moving on to her, I thought she looked great.
Who was your worst dressed?
Florence Pugh.
I didn't love that Florence
It
Pugh
was
outfit,
a
actually, to be
disaster.
honest. I liked her hair.
Yeah,
Her hair was really interesting.
again, I think her hair was cute, but just not for the Oscars.
I think her hair was interesting. I think if the rest of the dress went with the
Yeah.
hair, it would be less of a thing. But it's like the hair was one thing, the dress was another. I like the attempt to not dress in a dowdy way. I feel like a lot of young people go to the Oscars, or they go to awards events, suddenly start dressing like they're 48, and you're just looking at them being like, why are you wearing this old lady dress? Like, it feels so weird. So I appreciate the attempt to try and look youthful on the red carpet. I just, like, it looked like it needed to be ironed.
Yeah, the execution was terrible. Absolutely terrible. So,
I think
who was
my
yours?
worst dressed was... I did like Winnie Harlow's dress. The sort of lime green with the black. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like, I was looking at it and I was like, what is wrong with this? Like, there's nothing special about this.
No.
Not that you have to look special all the time, especially if you're not, nominated or anything, or just there as a guest, but, like, you're going to be photographed for the world.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not the... that's not even a dress I would spend money on.
No.
And I'm sure loads of people are actually not spending money on this stuff at all, but, like, I don't want to be photographed in this.
Yeah, it was a surprising colour for Winnie. I don't know. I would have preferred to see something that was a bit more striking. But like you said, she's not nominated for anything. I think she was just coming as a guest. But either way, if you're a guest or if you're nominated, you need to come and make your moment. Like a Thames. Thames, I thought her dress was beautiful. And it was just a moment for his first time nominee.
I really like Rihanna's dress.
Yeah, I thought it was really nice. Very classy.
Thought it was slutty. And also hot.
I think...
What you want from a pregnant woman.
Exactly, I think...
No, I've actually really loved pregnant Rihanna era because
same.
it has made me think about, like...
What you would do if you were in her position.
No, but it's just made me think about what pregnant fashion is usually. And it's usually very demure and, like, angelic all of a sudden. It's like, if that's not your style, that's not your style. So why would you suddenly dress like that because you're pregnant?
Yeah.
And I think what she's doing is, like, staying very true to her style and not letting her pregnancy detract from that. But also I think highlighting her pregnancy and the stuff that she wears. So it's not like I'm trying to ignore the fact that I'm pregnant. It's like, oh, I know I'm pregnant, but I still want to be hot, edgy mum.
Yeah. No, I think it's true. I think there's some pregnant dresses that just look like it's a normal dress but just been...
It's a muumuu.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a muumuu or like a normal dress that's just been made a bit bigger. And actually, I think there's a way you can dress for the bump. But I also always worry about like the parents or like the expectant mothers if they get uncomfortable because it's so tight, or depending on the dress, it can be so tight to the skin and so tight to the bump. Like we were talking about this before, like when you completely not a comparison, but if you have a big meal and your trousers, like you feel like your trousers is almost like constricting your waist, and then you have a bit of a stomach pain or a bit of discomfort. Like imagine that, but you're pregnant and you're having this dress that's tight against your skin and there's just no wiggle room. Hence the muumuu.
I think like I love what Rihanna's doing, but I think when I'm pregnant, I will be wearing muumuus and like dungarees and stuff, very loose. I will be trying for as long as possible to pretend I'm not pregnant as well. Yeah, so like the looser your outfit is, the better. I've learnt from the school of Kerry Washington and Scandal how to cover up a baby bump.
Oh God. The bigger the bags.
All the way until you're about to pop. And that's what I'm planning to do, just be in the office with a massive file in front of me.
But mind you, everyone knows you're pregnant. And you're just like...
Going into meetings carrying a bag. They're like, you never carry your bag into these meetings.
But
like,
no, your bump is getting in the way.
What bump? I had a big lunch. This is a big lunch.
It's 10 a.m.
Your boobs are huge, your face is full. Like, no. I had a big lunch. I'm having an allergic reaction. That's what's going on.
But it's 10 a.m. and we've not been to lunch yet, so...
I had a big breakfast.
I'm so finished.
Stay out of my business, actually. Not telling my employer that I'm pregnant until the week before I need to go.
Like, now I have to go now. I'm going for a year.
By the way, I'm pregnant. They're like, no shit. No shit. You've been thrown up every day for 3 months and now you're huge. So we guessed as much. But yeah, those were the fashions.
Yeah. It was okay. It was a good award season, but I think it's time for us to move into the review of the week.
Review of the week, which is...
You.
Season
4.
Starring...
Your beloved Penn Badgley.
Penn Badgley.
Plus a whole lot of other cast members, and I do not have their names.
Badgley.
Actually, what about his full name?
It's Penn Badgley. He's named after a tennis ball. A maker tennis balls. The brand is called Penn.
Oh, yeah. I know. I thought it would be like...
I had to check on why.
Oh, of course you would. Because I was thinking, what's the full name? Like...
I remember seeing a meme about him where it was like someone's asking someone, a police officer's asking someone, what's your name? And they've got a pen in their hand and obviously they've got a badge and the person's like, Penn Badgley. And they're like, brilliant. I was like, imagine if that was why he's called that. It's very funny. I thought it was going to be like Penn after Penn State or something.
Yeah, I thought Penn was just short for something.
Pennifer.
Yeah, true. It sounds like Bennifer, like Jennifer Lopez and
Benedict.
Oh, yeah, you know what, let's keep it to Penn.
I quite like Penevieve.
I feel like a girl's name. Penn for the boys, Penevieve for the girls. Oh,
short to Penny.
Yeah. Yeah. I completed and binged series 3.
Had you seen any of season 3?
No, I hadn't. So, I had seen like 1 or 2 episodes. Okay. So, I just decided to rewatch again because I've been a massive fan of You. I remember when it first came out over Christmas. It's gonna be a good thing, yeah. So I remember when You came out, series 1 over Christmas.
Come out yet?
Are we actually going to keep on doing this? Okay? Remember when the Netflix original series You came out over Christmas, series 1, and I binged it.
Did it used to be on Lifetime, actually?
Oh yeah, it was on Lifetime. Yeah.
First season was on Lifetime.
And that's why it always has it starts off with like the Warner Brothers Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's true. So I remember binging that, and then series 2, binging that one. I probably didn't enjoy it as much as series 1, but series 1 got me at the edge of my seat every single episode. And that last episode, I was terrified. I was scared.
It's really interesting that you say that, because I really enjoyed season 2. I just thought season 2 was funner, like more funnier.
Yeah.
I had more fun with it. I actually just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I think the characters in season 2, like my heart broke when the neighbour got killed. When Love kills the neighbour, because I was like, this person had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
If you told her to forget about it, she would have forgotten about it. And now you've like killed someone's sister, and like maybe I felt like a sort of kinship because I'm my little baby sister. I was like, if I had to leave her in the world,
yeah.
So I really enjoyed that season, and I loved the twist of like Joe said love of his life, and like, oh, now I can be a good guy because I've sought this woman and it's turned out great. And it's like, oh, she's a murderer.
Yeah, exactly.
And weirdly, I don't like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like the second season.
I think that birds that flock together stay together, and my goodness, as a couple, they made sense. And then that was like the setup for series 3, where they were supposed to be like this suburban house
couple.
Yeah. Well, initially it was supposed to be like a normal suburban couple, but they realised they find it boring, and the only time when they're excited about each other and their whole life is when they're killing people. And the couple, the couple with the guy that looks like Chris Hemsworth, and then the other wife, they were hilarious.
So funny.
It was so funny, and I didn't realise how much we needed that, because it was just getting too much in
the
series 3.
The show really works when it's funny. That's, I think, why the first season I enjoyed it. I agree with you. I binged it as well and I enjoyed it, but it just felt like your bog standard thriller. Yeah. And then that second season and the third season, you're like, oh, this show's kind of like campy and fun and knows what it is. Yeah. And it has like a sense of self-awareness about it that like it's entertaining. Yeah. And that's something I think that the fourth season really lacked.
Oh yeah, because when we got to the fourth season, so in the fourth season, premise, You is about a guy called Joe Goldberg, who initially in series 1 he was a bookkeeper, or he worked in a bookshop.
Yeah,
let's say a bookkeeper. He works in a bookshop, and he is obsessed, and he stalks one of his customers, wasn't it? Or like his...
Yeah, it was a young woman who's a writer. What's her name? I wanted to say Genevieve.
It is Genevieve. Sorry, it's Genevieve.
Is it really?
Yeah. Jen.
Yeah,
it's Genevieve.
He's obsessed with her. He sort of engineers situations to be around her, to be the hero, to get her to fall in love with him. Towards the end, she realises that he's a massive fraud.
Yeah.
So he locks her up in a cage, and then she ends up dying.
Yeah, because he kills her.
Oh, I thought it was an accident.
Oh, that's what Penn will say. So that's what Joe would say.
That's what Joe would say. She ends up dying, and so he goes, well, time for me to move down. In that time as well, he's already killed a bunch of people, so he can like maintain this thing with her, including her best friend, who starts to be like... She's on to him, but her and Genevieve have like a bit of a relationship anyway.
The story really is about stalking, obsession, and pretending.
Yeah, through the lens of the stalker, who thinks he's in a rom-com and will stop at nothing to get what he wants. Yeah. You also find out in that season that he had an ex who he did the exact same thing to, but she got away. Yeah. But it's this thing that's sort of lurking in the background, like it's a matter of time before she sort of points at him as the guy who kidnapped her and left her in the woods or whatever. So going into season 2, he's like, I'm going to change my ways. I'm going to move to the other side of America, which is like LA, and I'm just going to be, minding my own business. And then he sees this woman called Love and immediately falls in love. Like, that's when you knew the season was going to be fun. Yeah. It's like, this is stupid.
Yeah, true. Like, I knew, because also he has this... The whole premise of the show, and that one of the key storytelling threads or tactics was using this monologue, and he's kind of like guiding the story through his monologues of like, oh, I found you.
Well, and it's not actually a monologue.
What do you call it?
It's narration.
A narration. Okay.
It's a voiceover.
But yes, that's it.
Yeah. Because a monologue would be him character speaking to camera.
I said the word tactic, and I think that's the wrong word. What was it?
Storytelling element.
Element. Yeah. So yeah. that is like a real guide and is consistent throughout the whole season. And then, of course, like, it's been spoofed and there's memes about it, but that's like, it keeps that kind of grounding of the story.
Yeah, so you're with him all the time.
Yeah.
I think without it, you would just be watching a show about a dude randomly killing people without you really understanding why.
Exactly.
But because you've got the narration, you're like, oh, Joe really does. At least he thinks he has good intentions.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what was missing in season 4 is a sense of, like, in each of those seasons up until season 4, everything that Joe's doing is because of this obsession, because of this love that he has. You come into season 4, and at this point, Joe, so at the top of season 4, Joe has just killed his wife, Love.
Yeah.
Because as we said, Love turns out to be a murderer.
Oh, a serial murderer.
Which is honestly, watching it, great twist. Oh, spoilers, by the way, if you've not seen it.
Oh, it's spoilers.
Great twist.
Yeah.
He tries to live in the suburbs with her, but it just becomes more and more clear that if he so much as looks at a woman, Love will kill them.
Yeah.
He has this illicit affair with a woman called Marianne. He plans to run away with her, and on the night that he plans to run away with her, Love intervenes and tells Marianne he's a murderer.
Yeah.
And if the worst thing you can do is love him, because it means that you're in his sights, you're going to be next. So Marianne flees.
Yeah.
Joe then kills Love, and then fakes his own death by chopping off a toe, so it looks like he died in the fire. And also leaves his child, because him and Love have had a baby. That is really the reason why he marries her.
Yeah.
Is that she's pregnant.
Oh, yeah, because he was about to kill her, and then she shouts, "I'm pregnant," and he stops. He stops from killing her.
And then they have a lovely shotgun marriage, and all of that stuff. He also kills her brother, and that apparently isn't. She's like, "You're still hot to me. What can I say?"
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And he's now has to flee LA, and he's gone in search of Marianne. But when you start the series, he's in London working as a professor.
Yeah, that.
And you're like, what have we got here?
And he's now called Jonathan Moore.
Yeah. And you're like, what's this got to do with Marianne? And you'll find out. We'll find out. So basically, the premise, the story of the season is Joe goes to Paris, lurks around until he finds Marianne, finds out she's going to London for an art fair, goes to the art fair, tries to speak to her, she runs away, she wants nothing to do with him, so he lets her go back home. At some point, he's contacted by a sort of assassin PI who's been sent by Love's dad to track him down.
That's the thing that
was
really
already
me.
confusing at the
Also,
beginning.
what I'm saying is that part lost me, because like, how?
That was at the beginning.
I know.
You said that part lost me. That was the second ep.
No, but I was just like, how do you know that Joe exists? How?
That is a good question. There are many moments in this series where people seem to know exactly who Joe is. And you're like, I don't understand how you know this.
Exactly. Like, I don't get it. Why? And also, why is everyone just being hunky-dory? If you know that Joe exists and you know that he killed Love, why is everyone just being like, oh, now I want you to kill this person? And now using him for his assassin ways after he did the same thing to Love.
So the PI finds Joe and says, listen, I don't want to be a murderer anymore. So I'm giving you a way out. You disappear and become Jonathan Moore, and I'll go away, and we never have to, we'll just act like we don't know each other. But on top of that, I'm going to need you to kill Marianne. So Joe...
Also, how does he even know about Marianne?
How does he know about Marianne?
Like, none of that is explained. It just feels so like, what?
So Joe goes looking for Marianne, as I said, finds her, decides he's going to let her go, takes her necklace off her in a way that she somehow doesn't notice.
I'm so done.
I'm so sorry. You could yank at my necklace. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I can feel
Ouch.
that.
You're choking me.
I'm sorry, because I think they were trying to think, oh, the necklace is really thin. Even if it was the thinness of the necklace,
you'd have to really yank that, and I would feel that.
Yeah. Oh, that is some really dainty necklace.
It was already hanging on by a thread.
Yeah. So all you just need to do is ping, and it's off.
So he takes a picture of the necklace, he sends it to the PI, and he says, job done, and the PI apparently says, all right, peace out, and never comes back. Doesn't check. He hasn't bothered.
Like, where's no blood? Nothing.
Nothing. Joe then decides, I'm going to go live with Jonathan Moore and I'm going to change my ways. I'm going to be just a dude who is a professor at a university teaching an American short story to some very weird British students.
Everyone looks a bit older than they need to be.
Everyone is a bit older than they need to be because they cast some actors who you recognise if you watch a lot of British TV.
Yeah.
And so you already know that they're not young because you've seen them on TV for 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's not possible.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's working as a lecturer. One of his fellow lecturers, one day, his girlfriend is walking in the car park and some thugs try and attack her.
Yeah.
Joe intervenes, saves her, and now suddenly they're indebted to him. They invite him to their members club. Turns out they're the richest people in the whole of London.
Was teaching in this university.
I was teaching at this university. And slowly, they all start getting picked off by a mysterious killer. Joe's like, what's going on? Because the killer's trying to frame him for the murders.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem fair. He finds out that it's one of their friends who is running for mayor. And the guy's like, listen, me and you are the same. We'd both love to kill. Why don't we become partners? And Joe's like, no, you don't understand. I want to be a good guy. He's like, okay, fine. I'm going to blackmail you into doing this because if you don't do it, I'll tell everyone that you're Joe Goldberg and not Jonathan Moore. So then we get the rest of the series where Joe's trying to figure out how he's going to get rid of this guy who's trying to make him a fellow assassin, murderer.
For context, like, this season was split into two. So usually it'd be one full season of, 10 episodes. For this season, it was split between 5 episodes first that was released, and then another. How many weeks
5.
was it? No, another 5. But how many weeks?
2.
2 weeks break, and then the other 5 were dropped on Netflix. So I ended up watching everything all together.
Same.
And I kept on feeling like, what was the point of this break? There was a bit of a change in direction between the first half and the second half. And I was reading about this, that it was Netflix that proposed the split season.
Okay.
And then the creators decided, well, actually we have a natural creative break between the two. And they were planning to do some kind of like mid-season trailer. So it just ended up naturally happening. But in the same breath, I still don't know whether a split season would be enough. And also, had I watched it in real time, I would have been thoroughly disappointed after those five episodes.
Don't think I would have come back.
And that's the thing.
So, yeah, we spend all this time with Joe faffing about with this guy who's trying to be a killer or not be a killer. He's also fallen in love with the lecturer's girlfriend because the lecturer is one of the first people to die. She's holding him at arm's length, and after a while she does like him, whatever, who cares. Honestly, there was no chemistry in that relationship whatsoever.
I mean, there's no chemistry, no character development. Also, like, no chemistry between the girlfriend and also the main guy. Like, there was no mourning. Like, I know there probably was a funeral, but I just didn't see, like,
there was a funeral and there was the mourning, but we'll get to her because I can't work out if they tried to recreate a character that would be a good fit for Joe, or they created this character and then it just seemed to work out. But her whole thing was that she didn't show emotion. Yeah. And she trained herself not to show emotion.
And they used a lot of that standoffish as being British.
Yeah, which is how convenient.
Yeah.
Because it meant that, like, she could end up marrying a murderer.
Yeah.
Because unlike everyone else who's emotional, she can handle it because she's not going to get emotional. Anyway. Joe finally thinks he's found an opportunity to kill the dude that is trying to blackmail him. Goes to his house. He's like, oh, I'm going to kill you. And also, you've got Marianne stashed somewhere. You're using this as blackmail. And the guy's like, I've never seen you a day in my life. Joe's like, what do you mean? You told me to kill people. He's like, I don't know who you are. Joe kills him. And then the guy walks back in the room again. And we're like, what the hell? And Joe's like, oh, I'm hallucinating. You can't be here. And he's like, guess what? I've been a figment of your imagination this whole time. It's been you who's been the murderer. Here's your life. This is your life. And then they play him back the memories of him killing everyone that he's been trying to, quote unquote, save.
And this is the second time that it lost me. Because him coming back, the guy coming back and being like a reincarnated ghost to guide and also probably make Penn, Joe, paranoid, didn't do anything to me. Like, I don't understand why he was there.
No, he wasn't reincarnated, sweetheart.
I know he was dead.
He's a figment of Joe's imagination from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because what we don't see, and what they tell us at this point, is that Joe had developed an obsession with this mayor guy from the beginning, before he met all these people. The mayor guy is basically his new love.
Yeah.
It's his new gem.
Gosh, yeah.
It's who he's obsessed with. But unlike other seasons where we get to see that develop, they decide we don't need to see any of that. We'll just tell you in exposition at the end when you're deeply confused by what's going on.
Yeah.
And because Joe's obsessed with this guy, he befriends all his friends from uni.
Yeah.
And that's why he's in this group. That's why he's got this lecturer role. And he's in fact keeping Marianne in a cage underneath a disused train station.
Yeah. I think one of the things that, I don't know, we'll talk about it later, the thing that threw me off with this season was the amount of careless murders and killings. And I know that's really ironic to say for this type of show, but
no, it's not.
I feel like in previous seasons, he always had a way to rationalize why he was doing what he was doing. Like, why he wanted to kill so-and-so.
More than that, though, it wasn't even a need to rationalise. You're with the character, you know exactly what their motivations are.
Yeah.
So it's not even like we need to rationalise it like, oh, these people deserve to die. It's just like, for Joe and his goal, this needs to happen.
Yeah.
In this series, I don't know what Joe's goal was.
And that's the problem.
And so, yeah, you're right. It just felt like a bunch of needless, mindless killings that we had to sit through because we thought that he was trying to solve the crimes, and then it turned out he was the one doing the crimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just didn't work for me, actually, as a concept.
No.
And it felt... obviously, the series is based on books, and I wonder if in the books Joe does become more and more unhinged as time goes on. But it felt very much like in the series they were trying to get Joe to a point where he's now just come to accept that he is a murderer and that he does murderous stuff. And when we leave him at the end of the series, he's tried to kill himself, then reneged on that actually. He's combined the sort of murderous part of him, which is embodied by the mayor, into himself, and now him and Kate are living in New York, and he's basically decided that he's gonna use his powers of killing for good, but for specifically whatever Kate needs him for. And I just found it to be like, okay.
Yeah, when I finished watching the season, I said, what was the point? I even audibly said it, what was the point? Because I just don't see the stakes for me as a viewer to come and watch the rest of the season after watching just episode 1 and 2.
I did not enjoy the season. I think that was the biggest faux pas.
Yeah.
I should have enjoyed this season. It's set in my hometown. It's skewering people that I have met in my real life. It's a lovely crime jaunt as it set itself up in the previous 2 seasons, and it's supposed to be funny. And it was none of those things. It wasn't funny. The characters were all awful, not likeable at all.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to my sister about this today, and Lucas Gage, who plays Phoebe's boyfriend in this, is in the first season of White Lotus. And so we started talking about how White Lotus does such a good job of skewering rich people.
Yeah.
And that this season thought it was doing that. But it just really didn't make any of them likeable. I didn't care about any of them. So it meant a lot of the deaths just didn't feel... You didn't feel them.
No, I mean, one, with the characters, I felt there was a lack of development with these characters. So
Yeah,
I didn't know who was who. The guy that I think who was more likely to kill in that group, which I can't remember what his name was.
Rolled.
Yeah, but he's very attractive. He had beautiful...
Rolled.
I think it's Rolls, yeah. He had light blue eyes
Rolled.
with dark hair. Yeah. Light blue eyes.
I know, but you're still describing him. That's why I keep repeating his name.
But,
Yeah, Rolled.
Yeah, but I also just want to emphasise how beautiful he was.
Well, I would just say, chill out.
No, I'm just saying that I just liked his light eyes and his dark hair.
Rolled.
Like idiot. But apart from that, like I don't think there was much development. So again, like you said, when a kill was, and I think it was Sophie that got killed, couldn't care less.
Who the fuck's Sophie?
Not Sophie. The one that got killed and was put in the chest of
Gemma.
chest. Maybe Gemma, yeah. Who's Sophie?
I don't know who the fuck Sophie is.
Let's move on from that. So
I think Sophie is Simon's sister.
Is she the one that had a coat?
Simon, who is a friend of ours, his friend. Did you recognise him? The artist who dies in episode 2 or 3.
No, he's a friend of our friend. That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so Simon trained with a friend of ours.
Yeah.
So always really interesting and exciting when you see someone that you've actually you know.
True,
so
yeah.
very exciting for him. Super happy for him.
Yeah.
I do think they could have kept him around for a little bit longer.
They could have, yeah.
Because it was a death that didn't hit. Because you're like,
huh?
He's basically spoken 2 words to Joe and he's dead. And they weren't nice words. He said, when Joe tries to befriend him, he says, I have too many friends, come back when one is dead. Which no one's ever said that.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, someone's gonna die and most likely gonna be you.
Can I just say, script is awful.
Oh, chaotic.
The script was
absolutely
awful.
chaotic.
Kate, the love interest at one point, early in the series, when Joe is friendly with Phoebe, goes up to him and says, if you hurt her, I'll cremate your dick. When has anyone ever said those words in succession?
Also,
I'll cremate your dick.
The process of cremating the dick.
I'll cremate... Whoever wrote this series has never stepped foot in the UK.
No.
And they've written what they think snooty white people in the UK sound like. And actually, they're not as eloquent as that.
No.
We're not saying we cremate people's dicks. That's why my sister said, watch Made in Chelsea.
Oh, yeah. 100. I completely agree. Because
they were fucking brutal to each other. And it wasn't, I'll cremate your dick brutal.
It was more like the sassy. It was a shade. But, for me, because I didn't care about the characters, there was no stakes. The only time I felt nervous, and the same nervousness I felt with, maybe not on the same level, but how I felt when I watched Genevieve being pulled back as she was about to escape from the basement where Joe had kept her in this cage, and he just dragged her, and then that was your last shot and it ended, and it was up to you as a viewer to know what happens next. The only time when I felt that type of kind of trepidation and tension was with Nadia, the student who we can go into, who that student had been investigating Joe separately, had ended up saving Marianne after he tried to kill her. But when Nadia was going to escape Joe's apartment, and the boyfriend, or the friend, not the boyfriend, the friend was also supposed to be her accomplice and supposed to give her backup. He had left, disappeared, and she was trying to find him and then found him dead. Joe had framed her, and that's when I was worried. I was like, I think Joe's going to kill her right there, right now. And the fact that he didn't, but he framed her for the murder of the other guy, and now she's in prison. That was the only time when I felt like, oh, that was harsh and that was unfair.
Even that doesn't make any sense.
It's wild, but I felt like because this season didn't give any reason for me to care enough.
Yeah. She's one of the only characters that you care about.
And because you connect with, because you're like, she's doing good in this world of evil, basically.
Yeah, but equally, she had access to information that felt a bit fantastical to me.
Yeah. Right?
She goes to one party where a crazed fan kidnaps Phoebe, who is an earl's daughter or whatever. Joe rescues her, and then Nadia's like, oh, Joe must be the murderer. Yeah. I didn't understand the leap.
Oh, it was too much.
The leap didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It turns out Joe was the murderer, so she was right.
Yeah.
But the leap at the time where she's like, I'm going to start investigating Professor Moore, I just thought, oh, how convenient, actually. What a good use of our time to at this point in time, introduce a sort of detective arm. Yeah.
I think also, going back to it, there was so many different genres that this show was trying to, hit and tick on the box. Whether that was detective, whether that was murder mystery. The murder mystery angle in episode 5 with them in the house and, Gemma almost role playing that she had died and then eventually doing so.
Or Phoebe. It's Phoebe who replies that she died.
Oh my goodness, they're all the same.
But yeah,
what I'm trying to say is it was a lot going on and trying to do too much.
On that point, I mean, literally following, like, adding to that point, I think this was the most, like, You is based on a book.
Yeah.
And I found this season to be the most literary season of all of them.
Yeah.
Like, it felt, like you said, like a murder mystery, and in the end it becomes a Jekyll and Hyde story where you think you're watching a show about two different men and they actually are all the same man.
Yeah.
And I felt... I got to episode 2 and I thought, this is going to be a Jekyll and Hyde story.
Yeah.
And then I let it go because I was like, no, they wouldn't do that. And then it turned out that is exactly what they were doing. And in that sense, some of the choices that they make, I could forgive them because it's supposed to be heightened, because I feel like they're really going for the, like, this is a novel, these are the tropes from a novel. But I can't forgive them for the fact that, like, those mystery novels are entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
This was not entertaining.
No.
I didn't care about the people that got killed. I also just couldn't put my finger on Joe.
No.
I hated his professor outfits. That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. He's a 30-year-old man. Why is he dressed like that?
Yeah, I was so confused by that.
It doesn't make any sense. Unless you're telling me that this whole time Joe's been 52, why is he dressed like he's in the 1950s? I didn't understand it at all. How the fuck did he build that cage? Where did he get the things from?
No
it didn't make any sense.
Again, we were just jumping without any gaps in between. Like, how did this form? How did the cage form? How did, how did even the relationship build with the neighbor's girlfriend? Like, all these small things are like, what was going on? And then the whole, like, almost having the alter ego with the guy that he was being obsessed with. And now this guy is kind of like speaking into him, and he's a reflection of Joe's consciousness. But I found him irritating at times, because I was like,
super irritating.
Yeah, what? Because he was trying to do this, like, evil Jason Statham. I think I forgot his name right. Jason Statham type of approach, like, oh, I'm a suave British guy, and also the villain, and I'm a bit rough around the edges, and I just didn't buy it because he was, again, dressed in a suit, trying to be all kind of suit and tie guy, but you're also trying to be the evil villain because he's got a British accent. It was so basic. And there's one big key thing that I think why it wasn't entertaining and why I had an issue with this was because Joe never had a threat. Every time he was close to dying, he would just come back to life.
Yeah, so there's a point in the, like, episode 3 or 4 where Joe is thrown out of a window and then is able to get up, go back upstairs, find a dead body, parcel the dead body into a trunk, lift up the trunk, have the dead body fall out of the trunk, then get the dead body down into a larder.
Yeah, it was just too much. But that being said, I saw similar things in series 3, because there's times when Joe would attack and then someone would look like they've died, and all of a sudden they just start breathing again. Like Marianne's ex, when he threw him out of not out the window, but he threw him over a couple of floors of the car park. He landed on his back, and I was like, you know what, he's done, he's dead. And all of a sudden he wakes up again. So it can happen, but I do think that it just... I'm not trying to say that he should have even died from being thrown out the window. But I'm just saying
to be thrown out of a window, just then get up and just be going about... Yeah, he had a slight limp, but by the midpoint of the episode, the limp was gone.
Yeah, the limp was gone.
He's lifted up roll to get him out of the... What are you talking about?
The limp from the toe from series 3 is not even there anymore.
The limp from the toe is gone. He's living a completely different life. Henry who?
Yeah.
Henry who?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the thing that was so annoying to me was, if you're saying that this person has experienced so much trauma that he's developed a split personality, you don't talk about the fact that his wife tried to kill him. You don't talk about the fact that he had to abandon his son. You say that he smashed his head on a door, and that's what's made him crazy.
Yeah, all of that didn't make any sense.
The whole Marianne thing. That whole storyline, when they did the flashback, I was like, this actually doesn't make sense.
No. I'll be honest, like...
We've not known him to be that character. The version that he is with Marianne, being aggressive, locking her up, not being... Like, that's not the Joe that we've witnessed to this point.
Yeah. In regards to Marianne.
In regards to Marianne, you love this person. Why would you treat them like that? It just doesn't make sense.
I think there was a lot of, like... There was a lot of roller coaster overstimulation with this storyline to try and make something work.
Over what?
Overstimulation. But I'm going back to everywhere. Everything, everywhere, all at once, and the fact that like there's a lot going on. Because that's how I felt about the film. I know I'm sorry to sidetrack, but I felt there's a lot going on, a lot of storylines to kind of wrap up, and then I know there was a common thread which I missed because I fell asleep. But what I felt with you is that it was trying to do too much to keep people entertained, and I was like, go back to the basics. Like I remember I was watching a TikTok most recently, and she was saying, you know, the reason why TV looks this way and why you find it hard to find something to watch is because everyone is trying to one-up themselves. Everyone's trying to make the biggest stories they possibly could have. So you never have this like space for character development. It's always beat after beat after beat. This drama, this tension, this resolution, and it's constantly happening. And I think that's how I felt about you, where you didn't really know what the stakes were at the beginning, what the issue was, what the big storyline was at the beginning of the episode or beginning of the period. And so when it got to like, you know, Joe killing someone, you're like, what is this got to do with the story? Like, why is this important? Why is the girlfriend's dad dying?
I think you're right. I think the issue was like they decided to do they had a concept they wanted to do, and they said, fuck trying to explain how we get here. We're just going to go there and then we can go back retroactively and explain it. The truth is, we should have followed, like, between Genevieve and Love, you understand what's happened. Joe's had to get out of town. He's gone to LA. He's starting from scratch. They could have done the exact same thing with this. Because we know that when you basically burn all your bridges in a place, you've got to go.
Yeah.
But definitely was more stakes this time. Because he's supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
Right? But then they decided, no, what we want to do is have this sort of eat the rich killer. We want it to be a story about, like, poking and punching at rich people, and that being the point of the show, even though that has nothing to do with the journey that Joe should be on emotionally, because he should be I just feel like what a massive jump from I'm in love with Marianne, I've killed my wife to be with her, I've given up my son to be with her, and then you spend the entire season not with Marianne.
No. But like, Marianne is in the back of his mind, is in his consciousness, as she's like trying to wrestle between doing good and doing evil.
Yeah, he says he's trying to be a good person to prove Marianne wrong.
Yeah. And
she thought he wasn't a good guy. Cut to Marianne's in a cage. Yeah, that's why she doesn't think you're a good guy. Because you've got her in a cage.
I mean, that was...
Let her out the cage first.
Yeah, it's the end of the relationship when that happens.
Weirdly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think I have anything more to add apart from the fact, like, it wasn't overall a good season. It's just...
What did you think of the piss play storyline?
Oh, I haven't forgot about that. There was so much going on that it became it just became nothing of importance.
I think the problem with the series is evident in that storyline. He spies on that guy, sees that he pays staff to piss on him. That information then he tells his girlfriend, who then becomes his fiancée, but he tells his girlfriend. And the response is not, oh, the relationship falls apart, this is going to come back to bite Joe in some way. She's just like, oh, cool, I'll just piss on him then. What was the point of you going to all of these stakes to find out the secret if the secret has no bearing on the story? It hasn't changed anything.
Maybe he didn't know, but it's still ridiculous because...
It's just a stupid piece of information to learn. Oh, isn't this interesting? Not really, because it doesn't change anything.
Oh, I know.
Oh, but then in the end, she does decide, actually, I don't want to be with you. Not because of the pissing thing, but because he won't let her piss. He doesn't care if she pisses on him because he doesn't think they... Like, it just became a very long-winded way to what it was very clearly the purpose of the beat, which was to have Joe ruin and get on enough bad sides of people in the group that they would turn on him. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think the series 4 really lives up to the hype that we've had from series 1.
I think Penn Badgley's had enough, and he's basically saying, let's wrap this up as quickly as we can. Because the point where we leave Joe, I don't think he's got that many series left in him. Yeah. Like, Joe has lost it completely at this point.
Oh, I agree. Because I remember thinking, is this supposed to be the final season? And if it was, I was to be surprised, but also I would be a bit disappointed because I feel that there's so many moments from the previous series that we can latch onto. I know he brought Genevieve into this series in his hallucinations, but it just wasn't hitting.
I don't know if bringing Genevieve back would have been anything anyway.
Yeah.
Like, what does that add? Nobody thinks about Genevieve.
No, that's true.
If anything, people are... Like, I just feel like they've skipped over... You killed your wife. He should have been haunted by love, if
100%.
anything, in this series. Why is he haunted by a random dude we never even seen fall in love with? Just... A lot of... It's a perfect example of a lot of the story happening off-screen.
Yeah. And then it cuts to the scene and you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
How did this happen?
Like, I have more questions now. I wish you actually haven't even showed us. Yeah. Actually, I think she just played the whole series as there's no flashback, because the flashbacks I have more questions.
Yeah.
So what are we rating this?
What are we rating? I found it very disappointing. I love you, but I'm thoroughly disappointed. I would give it probably a 2 out of 5.
Yeah, I think I'd give it the same. I would say shout out to the hairstylist who kept that one curl perfectly placed on Penn Badgley's forehead for the whole series.
Yeah.
You did God's work. But then I minus points because Kate's hair never moved.
No.
And I said she doesn't have enough hair for it to be just glued in that bob. Just as is. This hair has not moved. How much spray has she used?
Yeah.
It's not very natural.
No.
I really like Charlotte Ritchie. I think I've seen her in enough things to be very funny. She's great in Fresh Meat. I don't think this was her best role. Yeah. I just think the character didn't, like you said, no character development.
Yeah.
I did not buy I feel like I'm a bad person because my dad's a bad person thing. Like, who fucking cares about this? Like, this is actually nothing.
Also, it was so random to have Grant Kinnear as a dad. He looks surprisingly good.
It's just the whole, honestly, bizarre. You know, he did look good.
I was surprised. I was like, wow.
And then she's
Zaddy.
like, oh, I've got like 4 other siblings, but my dad's upset. We don't see that.
Yeah. What? Why? Like, why has he chosen you over the other siblings?
Also, the running theme through all of these series to this point is that Joe has a lot of trauma in his past. And this is the first season we didn't see any of that.
No.
I remember how we get flashbacks of his mum.
Yeah.
You get that whole thing where his mum basically put him in a position where he shot her abusive boyfriend and then his mum gave him up.
Yeah.
And that is the core of his abandonment issues. It's why he forms these obsessions. Yeah. In this season, no, apparently Joe's just a murderer.
No, and it was just flashbacks of just his face, and then, or one time like he wants. Maybe I'm confusing this with series 3 where he wants to push the kids down the stairs.
Yeah, that was the next season.
That was series 3. Okay. I don't know.
The voiceover tried its hardest.
Oh, it was so hard.
It just wasn't enough to make me warm to this season.
No.
I even found some of the dialogue in the voiceovers like irritating.
Yeah. It's because it felt a lot. It just felt like a lot was going on. My only funny thing that I liked about the way they shot the show is like, you know, the whole like Vaseline around the screen that they used to do in the like Neighbours, like old style. Maybe it was my TV screen, but I felt like we're doing a lot of that kind of like misty fade in the background.
How did you notice that?
Maybe it's my TV screen.
But maybe
it's my TV screen, but I just felt like I was like, why does everything look so faded in the corners? Probably my TV.
Probably your TV. I think the one thing I both enjoyed and didn't enjoy was the for rich people, they kind of only had 2 spaces, which was this club.
Which is supposed to be like Soho House. Yeah.
And that's it. And I was like, listen, watch one season of Made in Chelsea. They won't go on holiday every other season.
Oh, 100%.
Like, these people aren't as rich as you think they are, clearly, because they've got 2 venues.
Yeah.
He lives in the same house, basically across the way, from this incredibly rich couple. So somehow Joe has access to the exact same funds that they have access to. Oh,
yeah, like the locations were wild.
I couldn't get my head around the fact that they all go in through the same entrance, but somehow his window is facing into their apartment. It's like, I'm sorry, if I live on the same floor as you, how is my flat looking into your flat?
Yeah.
You would have to be on the completely opposite building.
It was giving me like a more European apartment complex versus the UK.
But even that apartment complex stuff, I was like, oh, maybe this is going to be Rear Window, actually.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to see something that he shouldn't see, and he's going to make a decision to intervene. It doesn't really go anywhere.
No, it was like, no, this was right in front
just
of
watch
your
her
room.
masturbate in that first episode. Like,
And then the police was like, oh, you can... No, it was someone said, oh, you can see everyone from that. It was the boyfriend that said it. Yeah. But yeah. Okay. Well, 2 out of 5... Slightly disappointing for this time.
Really disappointed. I was super disappointed by it.
I mean, at least you got to see your beloved Penn.
I did. I think, like I said, we're tired.
Yeah.
And I could say we because this is a decision we're both going to make. We're tired. And I honestly do think he's tired.
I think he probably
like,
is.
there was a whole scandal around, there was a bit of a brouhaha on the internet about him saying that he basically asked the producers, of which he is one of them,
for less sex scenes. Maybe that's one of the other additions why it was a bit less entertaining. Like, that being said, I didn't really watch you for sex.
Fucking every episode.
No, it wasn't.
Another one, like,
it wasn't. No,
it wasn't.
But I
that
think
often.
it was. No, and I think but the
First
difference.
season, I felt like it was a lot actually.
Yeah, but I think the difference was this time. In previous seasons, he was less clothed. Like, he was a bit more nude. But I mean, you never saw anything front wise. But in this time, in series 4, all the sex scenes were done fully clothed.
Yeah. I mean, I was with him when he said the sex scene thing because I was like, oh, you don't need a really provocative sex scene to explain that these two people have intimacy. Yeah. But when he started talking about, and also my partner, it's like, whoa, what's the implication here that like you're cheating on your wife if you smooch someone at work? That
was wild, yeah.
Like, this was your job before you met this girl.
Yeah.
And I get it, obviously. I mean, if I was married to an actor, maybe I would feel like... I was watching EastEnders the other day and I was like, you really just have to be kissing a stranger every day.
Oh, constantly.
Very weird.
It is, yeah.
But I wouldn't... I don't know. I don't know where I fall in that debate. I do feel like some shows put an excessive amount of sex scenes and they use that instead of story.
Yeah.
But I also feel like you could feel a lack of... And I think that was a problem. They couldn't write intimacy for those two characters that wasn't sex. So we were just sort of stuck in this stalemate where they kept on looking at each other.
And they were trying to do a bit of banter, but it was just not working.
Are they going to kiss? Are they not going to kiss? Are you going to fuck me or not? Like, it's just, I couldn't
because they did it like 3 times. Like,
yeah.
Basically, by the time we got to the third time, it's like, do it now or just
leave us alone. Leave us alone, please.
It's not, because to me, it's more like...
This is a sex scene I don't even want to see.
No, it's like, this is supposed to be... It's more lust than anything else. I'm not seeing anything more. And
when he got with Marianne in the last season, I said,
you need that.
Let's play this on loop, honey. This... Nothing. Every single time he was with Kate, I was like, fast forward.
Yeah.
I don't even want to... I don't want to see this.
I'm not buying it. But,
no sex appeal.
No. I mean, you think that Penn Badgley is, but... You know.
Yeah, he's fucking hot.
I don't know. I don't see it. I don't hear it. But, you know, the girlies love him.
Ladies love me.
Yeah. And, ladies love Joe.
Cool Penn.
Yeah. LL Cool J.
His name's Penn.
Some ladies love Cool J.
No one loves Joe in this house. We don't love Joe in this house. He's literally deeply unhinged. No, some of the scenes with him and Marianne in this series, I said, I don't know how anyone could watch this show and think Joe's dreaming.
No.
I don't get it.
It's just supposed to be your love of a life.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, God. Anyway. What we do next week?
So next week we will be watching... The Last of Us.
Ooh, with Pedro Pascal.
It's a spooky one, so you better make sure you're wearing a diaper. Because you're about to shit your pants.
I don't think it's be that scary. I mean, I'll just keep on looking at Pedro.
Oh my God. Like, you're actually making me not... You're giving me the ick.
Am I giving you the ick?
You've actually given me the ick for Pedro Pascal now, and I'm not feeling it anymore.
I really hope not. No.
No, I'm just not feeling it anymore.
No. So that one comment, did it?
No, actually, it's from last week when you was talking about him. I was like, you liking him is actually giving me the ick.
How am me liking him?
I actually feel like that's the problem.
Wait, so I can't like
when
a guy?
you like someone, it actually gives me the ick.
That is actually really insulting. What is it that my taste is making me feel like it's icky?
It gives me the ick.
So what guy can I say that I like?
Oh, you can like anyone. I won't like them.
Oh, it's because I like...
Yeah, it's like you like them, so it gives me the ick.
I was gonna say I thought we don't have similar tastes.
No, we don't at all.
Because you like Penn Badgley and he gives me the ick.
Yeah, and Trevor Noah gives me the ick.
I don't understand why Trevor Noah gives you any ick.
Of course you don't. But what's that? If what you just said is why I have the ick. I don't understand why you Trevor Noah ill.
The guys that you talked about are like, oh, he's so hot, he's so fine. I'm like, who?
Name one person that I've said.
Penn Badgley.
And you're saying who?
Said who? I've just put myself through 10 hours of more than 10 hours, 20 hours of watching him over the last
First of all, don't
week.
act brand new. You already knew who he was before I said that.
I'm just saying, like,
I
don't get it. Like, when you're like, oh, I like him with the beard and all that. I don't know. He's such a short king to me.
Listen, Penn Badgley's daddy. We're not going to talk about
He's
it.
not daddy. Like, Pedro Pascal is daddy.
Penn Badgley's daddy.
How is Penn Badgley's like 30-something.
What's your point?
He can't be a daddy.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
I don't know. We can have this debate. Look, if you're really down for us to do this episode where we talk through our hot guys,
just know that you are heralding the death of this podcast.
How am I doing that? Because I'm just
I'm talking to the lads and the ladies who are going to back this. Yeah,
don't threaten.
Trying to back the beef.
Don't threaten the lads. Look, you want to hear what we.
I threaten whatever lads I want. These are my lads. These are my ladles.
Why are you calling them people spoons? Why?
I just think lads and ladles is actually really cool.
I think it's funny, ridiculous, but funny.
Like the merch. Listen, I'm all about branding.
Yeah.
A massive, getting a t-shirt that just has on each boob, lad, ladle.
I'm so finished. Or a picture of a lad at a football badge and an actual ladle spoon with no reference.
But a ladle with massive tits.
Yes.
And a high heel shoe.
God.
And like a cartoon ladle.
It's actually just ridiculous.
I feel like I've seen a cartoon ladle before.
I don't think I have.
Is there a ladle in Toy Story? It feels like. What have I seen an animated ladle before? I'm actually thinking of Beauty and the Beast and that wardrobe lady.
Oh yes. Nothing to do with ladles.
Nothing to do with ladles. But they've got an animated cup, so they've got an animated ladle for sure.
Maybe.
It's one step away.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Got a teapot, you've got a ladle.
When they reboot Lady and the Beast.
Lady and the Beast.
When they reboot Beauty and the Beast, we'll find out.
Anyway, this has been Lads and Ladles. I'm Ladle.
And I'm a lad. And we're... So stupid. Oh, God. Well, this had actually been Scripts and Giggles with Shoshanna
and LL Marn J. I've messed this up. LL Cool Marn. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. I think I'm gonna go with LL Cool Marn.
Call yourself LL Cool M.
LL Cool. It doesn't go.
No.
MM Cool Marn. Men mope. Cool Marn. No. Men,
the men that you choose, they mope.
Men must have Cool Marn. Low, very quite
it's
high.
So stupid. LL Cool J just like, leave my name alone. Keep my name out of your mouth. Hashtag Oscars.
I'll just be Buster Marns. 50 Marns. Marn scent.
No.
J Marns.
So finished.
Marnsy. Marnsy's not bad. Marnsy's not bad.
I was gonna say JM, but that doesn't make any sense.
It's got nothing to do with me.
Mansy,
honey.
Mansy, hit the mic.
It's your boy Mansy, and I like to read.
And that's how they started writing you, series 4. Who wants to drop a mic, drop a pen? Pen? Start.
My name is Money, and I gotta say, let's make Joe be a murderer today.
Yeah. Terrible.
That's the series.
Terrible.
Listen, I'll work on my rap skills. Don't you worry about that. Like the live show, I'm doing an 80-minute set.
The show is only 2 hours. You have 80 minutes of you
I'm
listening.
doing 80 minutes.
Oh, God.
Beatboxing for 40. Spoken word for 25.
It's exactly the same rap same lyrics. One is over beats and one is in silence.
Oh, pull, chi. I've never said I was going to be good at the beatboxing. I just said I'm going to do it.
Oh my god.
I'm joking. I would never do beatboxing. It actually makes me deeply uncomfortable.
That gives me the ick.
Yeah, that gives me the ick.
Yeah.
Bye.